Hello everyone, it's us, the team at TV Days Drama Digest, back with another explosive update from the world of Days of Our Lives. Today, we're diving into one of the most riveting and controversial storylines yet, centered on none other than EJ Dimera. For months, fans have anticipated that EJ, with his long list of enemies in Salem, would eventually face a violent reckoning. And now, the tension has reached a fever pitch. Rumors, omens, and subtle clues have pointed to one fateful moment, EJ being shot by another Salemite. But who, among his countless adversaries, has finally decided that enough is enough? And could the answer be more personal than we ever imagined? Let's explore this dramatic saga and the possibility that Sami might be behind it all. The long road to vengeance. EJ's many enemies. EJ Dimera is a character whose life in Salem has been defined by power, betrayal, and ruthless ambition. Over the years, he has accumulated a veritable army of enemies. From estranged family members to spurned lovers and wronged associates, the list of those who have a score to settle with him is long and varied. Names like Ava, Kristen, Rachel Blake, Rafe, Johnny, and Kate have all been mentioned as potential threats, each with their own reasons for despising him. His actions have left deep scars, and it seems that every secret he's kept, every morally ambiguous decision, has only fueled the fires of revenge. For many months, fans have speculated that the time would come when one of these enemies would finally strike a fatal blow against EJ. And now, the omens appear to be aligning. Subtle hints and foreboding scenes have led viewers to wonder who has finally reached their breaking point. The atmosphere in Salem has grown increasingly charged, and every character's animosity towards EJ seems ready to boil over. But which enemy could be the one to deliver this deadly blow? Some fans have pointed their fingers at several possible culprits, yet one possibility has emerged as particularly tantalizing and deeply personal. Could it be that the one person most aggrieved by EJ's past actions is finally taking matters into her own hands? A personal vendetta. The shadow of Sami. Enter Sami, one of the most complex and emotional figures in Salem's tumultuous history. Rumors have long swirled about the dark secrets surrounding Sami's past, particularly the horrifying events of her conception, which involved actions by EJ that have haunted her for years. It was only after Johnny discovered the grim truth about what EJ did to Sami during that fateful night that the wounds began to reopen and the pain transformed into seething anger. Johnny, already burdened by the revelation of his disturbing origins, has become more determined than ever to see his father pay for his sins. His fury is palpable, so much so that he now harbors a desire for retribution that borders on the vengeful. It is in this context that the possibility of Sami's involvement takes on a new, even more dramatic dimension. Some fans speculate that Sami, deeply wounded by the betrayal she suffered, might have returned to Salem with a singular, vengeful purpose. Her pain is not merely about the physical or emotional scars, it's about the loss of trust and the shattering of her sense of self. In a twist of fate, it is whispered that Sami might have been driven by the desire to protect her son from the collateral damage of her past, a desire so fierce that it might lead her to commit an act of ultimate retribution. Could it be that, in order to save her son from further suffering, Sami has taken the drastic step of eliminating EJ once and for all? The idea is as chilling as it is dramatic. Sami's return to Salem, long anticipated yet shrouded in secrecy, would not simply be a homecoming, it could be the catalyst for one of the most explosive confrontations in the show's history. If she did indeed decide to take action against EJ, it would not only mark the culmination of years of pent-up anger and heartbreak, but also send a message that some betrayals are unforgivable. The ominous omens and clues. Leading up to this moment, the narrative on Days of Our Lives has been littered with ominous clues. Subtle hints in recent episodes have suggested that EJ's life was in imminent danger. Scenes have shown shadowy figures lurking in the background, cryptic warnings exchanged between characters, and even moments when the tension in the Dimera mansion felt thick enough to cut with a knife. Each of these hints has fueled fan theories about EJ's impending demise. With every whispered rumor, The possibility that one of his enemies would finally strike a fatal blow becomes more believable. And as the plot has thickened, many have begun to wonder if the one who has long suffered at EJ's hands, Sami, might be the one to deliver that final, devastating act. The gravity of this potential twist is immense. For Sami, acting against EJ would be more than just a quest for vengeance. It would be a deeply personal mission to right the wrongs of the past and protect her family from further pain. For Johnny, who has been wrestling with the revelation of his own origins, the idea that his mother might be involved in such a drastic act could either offer a twisted form of closure or open old wounds even wider. The fallout, emotional turmoil, and consequences for Salem. Should Sami indeed take action and eliminate EJ, the fallout would be seismic. For one, it would irrevocably alter the power dynamics within the DiMera family. EJ has long been a central figure in Salem, a man whose influence, both feared and revered, has shaped the destiny of countless characters. His sudden removal would leave a void that no one could fill easily. Friends, foes, and family alike would be forced to confront the consequences of his actions, both past and present. Johnny's reaction would likely be one of conflicting emotions. On the one hand, the desire to see his father punished has driven him to the brink. On the other, the realization that his mother, Sami, could commit such an extreme act might devastate him beyond measure. The personal cost of such an act would ripple through every corner of his life, leaving him to grapple with the reality that the man who gave him life is now a symbol of irreversible loss and betrayal. And what of the rest of Salem? The dark act of vengeance would send shockwaves through the community, unearthing long-buried secrets and sparking new conflicts. Other characters, who have long suffered at the hands of EJ's manipulations, might seize the opportunity to settle their own scores. The revelation that one of Salem's most tormented souls has taken justice into her own hands would force every character to question their alliances, their morality, and the true cost of forgiveness. The uncertain future, redemption, revenge, or ruin. As we look to the future of this intense storyline, the questions are many and the stakes are incredibly high. If Sami does return and take lethal action against EJ, will that be the end of his reign in Salem? And more importantly, will it bring any form of redemption or closure to the characters left in its wake? For Sami, such an act would be the ultimate expression of her pain, a final, irrevocable statement against the betrayal she has endured. But it would also be a heavy burden to bear. The moral implications of taking a life, even that of a man who has committed unspeakable acts, are profound. Would Sami be able to live with the consequences of such an action, or would it consume her, leaving her isolated and tormented by guilt? Then there's Johnny, whose desire for revenge has long been simmering beneath the surface. If his mother's act of vengeance comes to pass, it might validate his darkest impulses, pushing him further down a path of despair and self-destruction. Alternatively, it could force him to confront the cycle of violence and hatred that has defined his family for so long, possibly leading him towards a hard-won path of forgiveness. And finally, what does this mean for the future of Salem itself? With EJ, a man who has been both a tyrant and a tragic figure, being potentially removed from the equation, the balance of power within the DiMera family will be thrown into chaos. Rival factions may emerge, alliances could be redrawn, and the fallout from this act of vengeance could serve as the catalyst for an entirely new era in Salem's history. The fans' perspective. A community on edge. No discussion of such dramatic twists in Days of Our Lives is complete without acknowledging the passionate fan community that has followed every twist and turn of the saga. For years, fans have debated whether someone as formidable as EJ DiMera could ever truly be brought down. The possibility that his long list of enemies might finally coalesce into a single, decisive act of revenge, especially if it comes from someone as personally hurt as Sami, is both thrilling and heartbreaking. Social media forums, fan pages, and online discussions are abuzz with theories about this storyline. Some fans believe that Sami's return, driven by a desire for justice and retribution, will ultimately lead her to confront EJ in the most drastic way possible. Others fear that such an act of vengeance might create an irreparable rift within the family, sending shockwaves through Salem that could change the fabric of the show forever. The emotional investment of the fans is palpable. Every revelation about EJ's past, every hint of his impending demise, has been scrutinized and debated at length. The idea that Sami might be the one to deliver the final blow is a testament to the depth of the characters and the complexity of their relationships. As fans, we're all on the edge of our seats, wondering if this dark chapter will finally come to pass and what it will mean for the future of Days of Our Lives. In conclusion, the unfolding saga of vengeance and redemption. Today's dramatic developments have set the stage for one of the most intense and emotionally charged story arcs in the history of Days of Our Lives. With EJ DiMera's many enemies closing in and the possibility that Sami, driven by years of betrayal and heartache, may return to exact her own brand of justice, the future of Salem hangs in a delicate balance. Will Sami's return lead to the tragic end of EJ, or will the cycle of vengeance be broken by unexpected twists? And what will be the cost of such an act, not just for EJ, but for every character entwined in this web of betrayal and redemption? These are the questions that now stand before us. And as the saga unfolds, each new revelation will only add to the intricate, heartbreaking tapestry of Days of Our Lives. At TV Days Drama Digest, we are committed to keeping you updated with every twist and turn of this unforgettable story. We invite you to share your thoughts, theories, and emotional reactions in the comments below. Do you believe that Sami will return to settle the score with EJ? How do you think this act of vengeance will affect the future of the DiMera family and the broader community of Salem? Your voices are an integral part of this journey, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.